What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tay, man. We back with another banger video for you guys, man. I ain't gonna take too long. Intro, we was gonna get right into it. This is about a girl that killed her family over the eclipse, right? That is crazy. She killed her family over the eclipse. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do too much talking. Let's just get into it because it's crazy, y'all. Let's go.
Danielle Sherekiah Johnson, who also went by Danielle Ayoka or simply Mystic Lipstick, was a well-known influencer, passionate astrologer, dedicated mother, and loving partner. That is until she infamously had a psychotic breakdown that left 3 people dead, including Danielle herself, with one little girl left to pick up the pieces and continue living a life permanently traumatized. In just 4 hours, Danielle channeled her inner Chris Benoit and was almost successful in ending the lives of her entire family. But why? Danielle was born September 25th, 1989.
And she
had a very tough time growing up. In a shocking and heartbreaking post on Twitter, she admitted being subjected to years of molestation and abuse from the age of just 2 years old. I was sexually assaulted throughout most of my childhood. I worked incredibly hard to get to the point where I even felt safe finishing the act of intercourse because of it. I was molested by a family member, a teenage girl when I was a child, and raped by my best friend. Not only this, but she also suffered a near-death experience a year later when she was 3. At a young age, Danielle had a near-death experience at 3 years old, which served as her rite of passage into shamanism. Coming from a rich lineage of indigenous shaman and medicine woman, Danielle's spiritual gifts begin to blossom. The worst thing about all of this is that her parents planned this entire thing. Yes,
Allegedly.
you heard that right. This near-death experience was completely
always
orchestrated by
be
her
the
parents.
parents.
Her family straight up
y'all.
almost killed her as a toddler in order to do an initiation ritual. Danielle claimed this is how she gained the ability to see spirits and demons. I didn't train to become a medium. I was born this way. I'm a shaman by birthright and was initiated in by near-death experience when I was really young and started.
So do y'all believe that stuff actually be happening? Like they be actually getting initiated when they be kids and stuff, then they automatically become famous or whatever? But it said they almost died though, so if she really would have died, and they probably just would have had another baby.
Seeing spirits and demons when I was a kid. For all the uncultured swine like me out there, shamanism is a religious practice that involves a practitioner known as a shaman. Shamans direct spirits and spiritual energy to help heal and aid people. They can also use these spirits and spiritual energy for divination, which is a form of fortune telling. Also, I'm a shaman because it runs in my family. Your bloodline needs to carry the gift for you to be born into it, from my understanding. This is the biggest travesty of Danielle's life, and it's one of the biggest reasons as to why I always point people who went through traumatic experiences to therapy. Therapy has helped me out a ton in navigating my feelings and emotions. Sometimes you really just need someone to talk to, and other times you just need somebody to help guide you to the other side. I don't know if Danielle was in therapy. She recommended therapy to others, sometimes in a condescending or insulting way, and sometimes in a genuine and helpful way. Other posts around the topic deal with color therapy or using therapy in tandem with her own alternative healing practices. All of this is exactly why this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. I just tricked all of you, okay? I am way too small for a sponsor. Keep in mind, all throughout her childhood, she continued to endure years and years of sexual abuse. This unfortunate series of events would crescendo when she turned 21. This is when she was raped by someone she considered her best friend at the time. When I lost my virginity, I hopped up in the middle of the act and said I couldn't do it anymore. I have been sexually and physically abused by men since I was 2. I had no idea why I wasn't comfortable with sexual intimacy. Even after healing that trauma, which took years, I still cannot feel forced. People have a past that has nothing to do with your Johnson. I was when I was 21. I cried after it happened because it was a friend. I said no repeatedly but gave in. I didn't acknowledge it was until years after it happened because I blamed myself for giving in. The feeling of violation was still there. I was in an almost 10-year relationship with someone who exploited these traumas, tried to convince me I couldn't be anything without him, and is still to this day trying to ruin my life through lying to people so they'll attack me too. It's never f***ing ending. It's important to know I'm not telling you guys about her struggles to garner sympathy. We aren't going to cry about this while listening to the world's smallest violin. I know that's f***ed up, but hear me out. I'm telling you this because it's important to understand how trauma can impact a person's life. Danielle got into healing because of these traumas. A huge part of her life was built around trying to unpack and turn something so negative into a positive. Sex was never safe for me. It completely f***ed my view of myself up, and it's one of the reasons I got into healing. I didn't have anyone to help me understand that. I was a that I wasn't a bad
See, that's the
person
thing, a
because
lot
of
of
what
this
I was
stuff be
exposed to.
on
Danielle was 34
social
years old when
media,
she
and
crashed
they just
out,
be
and it seems she
crying
never
out to
fully
help.
recovered from this
You know what I'm
trauma.
saying?
I think her holding on to this, mixed with the nature of how engagement works on Twitter, created a recipe for disaster. Now that you understand the background of this tortured soul, we can get into what culminated into the bloody eclipse. To people in her regular life, Danielle was just Danielle, but to her loyal followers, Danielle was Mystic Lipstick.
Our favorite go-to astrologer, Danielle Ayoka, better known as @Mystic Lipstick on Twitter. Danielle, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to see you.
Like, I think I feel good. I feel like, my blood pressure's good. I'm in my 30s now. I
Did she look
gotta
good?
worry about things like that. So
Amen, amen.
Right here with
I'm
you.
like, it's beating right. But,
It's being right.
I think
the
I'm
literal
feeling pretty right now. How about you guys?
Her brand of astrology insights and spiritual healing left many of her
right now,
supporters
you know?
in awe. She was exceptionally good at her job, and she took her spiritual practices very seriously, amassing over 102,000 followers over her career, with certifications on Reiki healing and 10 other alternative healing practices. Many people regarded her as a thorough and legitimate force online. But when news of the 2024 total eclipse started creating headlines, many people in the astrology community, like Danielle, grew worried.
Yeah,
There's a common
everybody
misconception
thought
that Danielle killed her
everybody was
family
going
because of
to,
the eclipse. This is
Not true.
kill
in many
themselves,
religious and
gain
spiritual
powers
communities,
and
an
stuff.
eclipse is looked at as a very negative and ominous event.
Yeah.
For example,
Some
people
Christians
say
see
you
the
get
eclipse
power.
as a potential sign of the end times because it's supposed to happen when Christ returns to earth. Here's a short passage from the Bible that echoes this belief. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. Many other religions have long and complicated reasons as to why the eclipse is bad as well. Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, and more all see the eclipse as a dark omen. I myself appreciate the eclipse for giving us the fifth blessed king, Femto, but I realize not many people share this sentiment. But back to my original point here. There are multiple instances where Danielle saw an eclipse as a totally normal thing. Although she was very cautious around the idea, this tweet from 2023 essentially personified her general attitude towards the lunar event. Why is the universe testing me so hard? At Mystic Lipstick, like it's little ish that's blatantly disrespectful and wrong. Girl, it's just the eclipse. Don't let it get to you. Just look for the character development it's trying to inciting you. Pluto just went retrograde. However, I do have to note, in terms of the 2024 total eclipse,
know what that
Danielle
mean,
was
y'all,
starting to
to be
become
honest.
what most people consider
I don't know what that
unhinged.
mean. Well, gotta get that money.
If any spiritual account is not revealing the truth right now, they are fake. They are lies. They have sold out and are on the wrong side. Wake up, wake up. There's power in your choice. There's power in your consent. We can do it. Breaking. Government Kathy Hochul says this morning's earthquake in New York was caused by a combination of climate change and white supremacy. This is the truth. They have to reveal their plans to be faultless. It is the code. White supremacy is designed to kill everyone else. This is the agenda. This is the agenda. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Love,
Some
love,
people
love,
believe
love,
that.
love, love, love,
Like, a
love,
lot
love,
of people
love,
was
love,
going
love,
crazy
love,
during
love,
that time.
retweet for power. We have
It's like y'all don't understand. Like when the eclipse was happening, y'all don't know how many videos I seen of them saying it was gonna end. It's gonna be 3 days of darkness and all this other stuff, and how people was gonna get powers. You could, if you look at it, all this other stuff, y'all. It was crazy. It was crazy.
one. Wake up. The apocalypse is here. Everyone who has ears, listen. Your time to choose what you believe is now. If you believe a new world is possible for the people, retweet now. There is power in choice. There is power in choice. Repost to make the choice for the collective. These increasingly disturbing posts were very unusual for Danielle, but you have to remember, guys, this is Twitter we're talking about. It's actually super normal for users on the platform to tweet outrageous things for clicks and
Just
likes,
like
and
Facebook.
Danielle doing just that raised no real
Just
red
like
flags
Facebook
for her
and-
online
but then
community.
that's
However,
why,
it's
you know what
important
I'm
to
saying?
note some of her
'Cause some
fans
people
have
really be
speculated
calling
she
out
may
for
have
help
had
and
BPD or some other mental disorder. Others even think she came into contact with a demon that possessed her to do these horrible crimes. Whatever the truth is, late night, April 7th, Danielle would faithfully show the world how vile her capacity for evil truly was. It was mere hours before the day of the eclipse, and Danielle and her fiance, Jalen Chaney, were heard arguing in their Woodland Hills apartment. From what I've gathered, Danielle and Jalen didn't have any notable history of fighting or arguing. In fact, them arguing like this was a super rarity. On the outside looking in, their relationship couldn't seem any better.
3:40 a.m.
A few hours after they started arguing, Danielle had stabbed Jalen, her long-term boyfriend and fiance, to death. This event happened right in front of her 9-year-old daughter. This was the first horrific event the child witnessed that night. But like many of you already know, this is only the beginning of the bloodshed. Almost immediately after murdering Jalen, Danielle decided to flee away from the scene. She forced her children into her Porsche Cayenne and stepped on the gas, ramming the apartment's garage gate open as she sped away.
Wow, she didn't even open. She was that mad, or that y'all really think?
A little under an hour.
Do y'all think she was really possessed or not? Do y'all think she was really possessed, or she just got tired with her life or something and just wanted to end it, or I don't know, y'all.
Had passed, and around 4:30 a.m. on the 405 freeway in Westchester, Danielle had the bright idea to kick her children out of the car. Mind you, this is on a fairly busy highway with a good amount of cars, all going around 65 miles per hour. When the 9-year-old understandably rejected this idea, Danielle pushed both the 9-year-old and 8-month-old child onto the highway. You have to understand that this 9-year-old girl was actually holding the 8-month-old baby when this all happened. This baby was named Soul, and she was struck almost immediately by a moving vehicle. The 9-year-old girl barely made it out the freeway alive herself. Danielle probably seen this happen as she continued to speed away, which most likely led her to take her next drastic action.
5 a.m.
In the car. I didn't know she kicked them off. That's crazy.
Just 30 minutes after pushing her innocent children into traffic, Danielle was topping out her car's speed, going over 100 miles per hour, when she intentionally hit a tree, instantly threw herself on the corner of an intersection. The wreck was horrendous, and I imagine her body was disfigured beyond recognition. I know that's morbid, but we gotta be serious here. On the bright side, her 9-year-old daughter is set to make a full physical recovery. Mentally, however, this will undoubtedly follow her for the rest of her life. It's unclear what Danielle was arguing with Jalen about, but one can imagine her erratic behavior was not doing any favors in cultivating a fruitful discussion. Danielle, an innocent man and an infant child in cold blood. Her actions are completely inexcusable, which is exactly why I said we're not going to just listen to her traumatic experiences with a little sad violin.
That little girl obviously saw more than she ever should have seen in any
real, that's crazy.
So I just hope someone's taking care of her. She's gonna need it.
What she did is evil, horrendous, unforgivable. Just because she had traumatic life experiences growing up, and I mean, I can sympathize with that. I can see why people care about that angle of the story. However, the truth is, she literally stabbed someone, and then she proceeded to try to kill both of her children on the freeway before killing herself.
This is violent,
that always happens,
psychotic.
But you see all the people that go through this, right? They always take out their family. You know what I'm saying? They always take out their family and take out themselves. You know what I'm saying? Or they do the other stuff, but we ain't gonna get in that. But that's how it mostly happens.
Insane. Yeah, that she had mental problems.
Yeah,
to do what she did,
they seem good on the inside, on the outside, but inside they really going crazy.
I would like to take a moment to reflect and appreciate Jalen Chaney, who died a senseless death at the hands of the person he loved most in the world. Jalen was born May 1994 in Palm Bay City, Florida. He was a good man who decided to do something positive with his life. He was a loving father and an accomplished veteran. When Jalen turned 22, he decided to join the Air Force and fight for his country, becoming a senior airman and working as a squadron armament technician in the 31st Munitions Squadron. On December 21st, 2020, at Aviano Air Base in Italy, he even conducted an 18th month inspection on a MAU-12 heavy-duty dual-piston pyrotechnic ejector rack. I honestly have no idea what that is, but judging from how complicated it was to say it, It's out of my pay grade. Not only did Jalen do all of this, he also stepped up and happily raised a child he had no part in making. The 9-year-old girl who survived this incident is not his biological daughter, yet he cared for her with the same intensity that he cared for his 8-month-old daughter. So Danielle was still married to the 9-year-old girl's father and going through a lengthy divorce when this was all going down. So that's why they weren't married, they were just fiancés at the time. I can confirm this because he gave her a ring. Here's a picture of the ring. Jalen's mom, Juanita Chirikas, has helped so many different news platforms get accurate pictures of her son. She also created a GoFundMe that aims to cover the cost of the double funeral, as well as any additional funeral cost. She's very close to making the $60,000 goal. If you guys have the means to, please consider donating if possible. I can't imagine the pain she felt when she heard the news. Reports say the neighbors found Jalen's body around 7:30 a.m.
I saw blood on the floor, the door open. I started calling in there. I said, hello, anybody there? You know, nobody answered. And I saw 2 legs that were on the floor. And so I called 911. I said, you know, something bad has happened here.
Friends of ours heard pleading, blood-curdling screams, pleading for his life.
If you guys hear anybody screaming in your apartment complex or whatever, your house, I don't know, anywhere. If you guys hear anything, any issue whatsoever that's going on outside of your house, residence, home, whatever, you're walking around, you hear somebody scream, call the police. Just make a little report out of it. Consider calling the police. It will literally save lives. Okay? It's infuriating to know that Danielle took the coward's way out after her entire family. If there's an afterlife, I hope she's burning in hell right now for the pain and suffering she caused. Needless to say, this lady is caught. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please like if you like, and
if they do get caught, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time, hold on, let me change it. Like most of the time, these people usually end up offing themselves in jail anyway. Most of the time, they really don't stand that long in jail. You know what I'm saying? Most of them can't take the pressure, or somebody else end up offing them off in jail. But 9 times out of 10, before they get to jail, they're knocking themselves off. But if y'all like this video, make sure that like button, subscribe button, man. It's your boy Tay. Peace.